We need help. We need help. And I'm speaking to you as a mother who has 2 children who deserve a right to a family. I'm speaking on behalf of my mother, who has worked hard all her life, and for her to be treated like she doesn't exist. And I will be very specific. My mother has been dragged through what you call a court. She sat in the Moiben police station with the former deputy OCS, Chiro. Like a court setting in a police station. And he's there telling my mother, Atawe mama una shamba. What gives the right to a deputy OCS to tell my mother she does not have land? And what follows after that is attack after attack, and then my mother's children are thrown in jail without question. Each of us sitting here today, my brother Dennis and my sister Adele, have been in that cell. Why? Anyway.
My name is Idel Sum. You have heard from my sister Eileen, and my brother is here with us, Dennis. This is our farm, Beru Ranch, and this farm is technically as old as me. It was bought when I was born, so this is my home like 100%. I'm here today because I would like the Kenyan family or the Kenyans to know, from our president to the common wananchi, that like my sister has said, we have gone through a lot. My story is, when I first got here, I thought, I left my children in the US, and I came thinking that it was just come and sort a few things, see how the workers are doing, and then go back to my life. We had been told, come on home, things are not what they seemed. So I haven't been here since 1994. So it was a shock to come back where my mother had left over 200 cows, over 200 goats, machinery. My mom never had any debt. She was self-sufficient. And I come in and she's lost her house. She's about to lose her car. There are no cows. We found 4 calves. And when I started asking questions, it was like, you don't know this country. You just, it's the way things are done. Coming to the farm, I talked to Remember OCS Lampasi. The first thing I remember he told my mom was, put 5,000 on the table, let's talk. And I asked for what? And then Arnold Chiro, the deputy OCS, then told me, Umeka ngumu. I did not know what all these things meant. But from the fact that somebody had come to my sister's house in the US and offered money, we knew something was up. So upon asking questions, we started getting the feel that it was probably somebody who has a lot of money because whatever was being driven is driven by money. So it's somebody powerful who is probably giving orders that made things work, because we've put a lot of our time and effort to try and figure out, but it still goes to a dead end. I asked one of our workers, what do you know? And the thing he would say is, in fact, there was a helicopter that landed right here. I was like, where? It's like in the back of the house, looking at land. So that told us somebody powerful. Because if you can land with a helicopter, that means you have the money, you have the power. So, and then going to like what my sister said, Nicodemus Scooter was plowing illegally. We tried to stop him. You ask Chief Cherono, he doesn't say anything. You call Chief Kipchoge there, he doesn't say anything. You go to Chief Lemis over here. Everybody, it's like, we'll talk, but there's no action. When I got arrested, I had a court order from March of 2020 that clearly stated that nobody enter this farm. So with that court order, Arnold Chiro comes and I get arrested by an officer, but then when you look at the report, the arresting officer is Arnold Chiro and he wasn't even there. That's number one. That's why I know it was a big thing. And then after a judge had sent an order that whatever crop was there that should not be touched, to stay in the farm until the case is over, should remain in the workshop. So we were supposed to take it to the workshop. Then this 22-wheeler Mercedes truck, lorry actually, comes and they load all the stuff in there. I called the OCPD, then it was Mr. Manyasi. He tells me, he sent somebody because he was not in the office. He sends Arnold Chiro. We were here for like about 4 hours and Moiben is 10 minutes away. And after they'd loaded everything, so I parked our truck in front of the gate and I called our lawyer, and the next thing I know, this truck tries to run me over. And people I know, there's a man who threw me on the electric fence. I know him very well, but he's walking around. He's called Kimayo, Francis Kimayo. Those are people who worked with them. And he threw me on the electric fence. He's never been arrested. And I did not know about P3s. There's so many things I didn't know. I was new. I hadn't been in this country for over 30 years. So for us to be sidetracked by the law, telling us, just wait, want to write a statement, or wait till tomorrow. The way things are fresh in your memory when things have just happened and you're not given that chance, and it just goes down the drain. The many times I've asked, can I write a statement? I tried to write a statement. It was altered. And there's even an officer there, Corporal Kipto, who every time when you go write a statement, he'll tell you, I need to amend it. What is he amending? So as the police, what are you amending? How are you writing a report from what I'm telling you happened, and then you tell me, no, this is what happened? It's like everything was changed to suit them. So those are the pains that we are going through, where the police, when they come and then they want to arrest you and they don't tell you why you're being arrested. I remember asking so many questions. Why am I being arrested? I was in the jail cell for 4 days after being told that accused of attempted arson. And when I asked, where was I? Where was I when you guys arrested me? And they were like, we don't know. And then the police on the lower level start moving aside, like they don't want to talk about it. So at the end of the day, you're arrested. I was there for 4 days, and then, I refused to eat because honestly, I was afraid somebody's trying to poison me, because I know before I got here, my brother had been poisoned. So I know there's somebody out there who wants us all gone so they can take our land. But it's not going to happen, because we're going to be here until we figure out who it is and why you want our land. Like my sister said, it's not inherited. My parents sweated to pay for it. My dad did his best to make sure his family was secure. Now somebody out of the wazoo is going to come in and try and take over. How is Kenya like this? How is Kenya like this? Where the OCS Lampasi is telling me, utakufia hapa, go back to where you came from. I told him, actually I have come back where I came from. I was actually born here. So those are our pain points where we want the world to know. We want Kenyans to know that our lives here have been threatened too many times. I remember my brother was threatened with a bow and arrow, and he was told, walk away from your sisters. They are taking you down the bad road. And I was wondering, are you kidding me? This is my family, How does somebody come and tell you that? And then for somebody to tell me, that you burnt your mom, you cremated her, and we have to liquidate everything to take it over there. And I'm like, take it where? We were born here, And then somebody comes in, you're in your truck and they're ousting you out of your truck that, oh, we need money. You owe money. My mom doesn't have any debt. She didn't have any debt. Zero debt. Even her house that was mysteriously auctioned, zero debt. Those are the pain points that we know the widows are being attacked. Even when my sister, when she came and we're out just taking a walk with our dogs. Next thing we know, you unleashed a dog to somebody, and we're like, the road is so far, it's like, what, 200 meters? Why would somebody in our compound, what are they doing? And when you talk to people, they tell you, well, we've been here forever. And we're like, no, you haven't, because we did an electric fence, it was destroyed. My mom has done fences, it was destroyed. We've gone up to the hill, to the mountains up there, where my mom had put a fence, but the locals will destroy it. And these are people known to us now. For somebody to come and threaten me and tell me, I will plow at all costs. Kennedy over here. He tells me I have to plow. I spent money. To whom? For the people out there, we paid the cops, they want facilitation. We have facilitated. They're supposed to go and arrest somebody. And the person who's a lookout is telling us the person is inside, but they were not arrested. Why is that? Why is it that when we are the ones, the SUMs here, reporting something, it falls on deaf ears? And then when somebody says, Idel did this, they will come here within 2 seconds and arrest me. I had to leave my truck at the road and call my brother because we got arrested. My mom's guests were arrested, were thrown in cell. And when I asked the OCPD then, Grace Wanja, she tells me, I'll get to the bottom of this, but do not leave town. I had to go for my daughter's graduation. I come back, and I'm arrested, and she tells me, you are at flight risk. They even asked for my passport. Why would a police officer ask for my passport? Like I need to relinquish my passport. Why? I'm at home. So the harassment continues, and our thing is, when the bows and arrows came to the house, that for me was like somebody has to say something. I had even tried to request officers to come and stay at the farm, and I was told it will take time, you have to apply, you have to go through this. There are officers in ATC who are neighbors here. We're told you have to ask the OCS, you ask the OCS, wanakuja. And I'll tell you, sometimes they never show up. But then we realized that there's an alcoholic guy who was walking, and he was like, oh no, the cops were paid, so they don't ever show up. That is what is on the ground. But you see now, this is what we are told, but we don't know. But it does feel like that, because when you call the chief, he's either unavailable, he's in a seminar, he's in a conference, he's out of town, he is never available. Until I think this past couple of months, he stopped picking up our calls. That is Chief Cherono. He really hasn't picked up our calls. I mean, you wonder why we have these people. And yet he was having a baraza over there, having a meeting in the middle of our farm with court orders saying nobody should be on this farm. Why was he over there? And he can't answer that. He really can't answer that. It's like you don't get any help. And then you call Chief Kipchoge over there, he'll tell you, call the police. I was like, which police? He's like, well, we are Elgeyo Marakwet, but all the perpetrators, most of them are coming from Elgeyo Marakwet. You know, if it wasn't for Dr. Omar to write a letter to Wasingishu, I don't think they would have even known that anything was happening in Elgeyo Marakwet. But now we can't even get into Elgeyo Marakwet because it's like they'll come here with bows and arrows screaming, this is Elgeyo Marakwet. I have recordings, we have pictures, we have so many things. You know, last time, about 2 weeks ago, my sister was up there chasing cows that were eating wheat. They've grazed on about 2 points of wheat. But when you call, tunakuja, oh, gari hakuna, there's always an excuse. But I can guarantee you, if, like, there's a guy who came and threatened my sister here, apparently he's a broker. They were coming to arrest her here, and yet he's the one who's threatened her in front of a police, where the police were holding the man back. He was going to hit my sister, but then that person was never arrested. But then they were coming to get her, saying she owes him money, which is false. It's like they pick up something that will be a criminal thing or a felony and pin on us, but then when we have felony things, oh, it becomes a misdemeanor. I think that is where I think the police needs to answer us, or just explain to us how it works, or why we are the ones being subjected to all this. You know, I understand there's a man out here, you know, he's a broker, and he was shouting the same things. It's like, you women, go. Why are you women here? Women can't run a farm. Says who? He was born, I was born. We're all born. We are all human beings. Where is the humanity when you're being told, leave your town? I remember when the OCS was telling me, utakufia hapa. Why don't you go lease a house in Eldred, go rent a house, stay there, and then just come and check on your farm? Who does that? Would you? Like, I would ask anybody, the ministers, the president, would you leave your home to go and sit in a hotel and then you come and be checking on your property? Nobody does that. Fellow Kenyans, I know you would feel that, because nobody will leave their house. Nobody would leave their house to go and sit in the yard and you watch somebody taking control of your home. You will not do that. I know you won't do that, because we have refused to do that. And that's why we are asking, can you send us help? We need help. I tried to even ask for a loan with AFC. They brought up stuff they had they were not privy to, but they knew. Why would they know stuff, personal stuff about my mom, and refuse to give me a loan? And this is AFC, the Agricultural Finance Corporation. They refused to give me a loan, basing it that, oh, well, you know, you have debt. Why are you in court? Why is there this in court? Why would they base it on that when we have a farm? We have a field. They are the ones who financed it for 20 years, but then refuse when we, the children of Mr. and Mrs. Sum, come and ask. That tells me it went deeper than just, I guess, the locals. So this is powerful people. And my question to you, powerful people, is why do you want our land? What have we done to you? We haven't done anything to you. We're just simple Kenyans, a simple family who want to just live and enjoy life like you do. We've never stolen from anybody. We've never harmed anybody. All we just want is our lives back, to be able to drive in, to town without being followed. We were followed for 2 years by Osama over there. I know these people. These are people who've harassed me before. We have followed them. We have followed them, and they follow us. And when you ask for arrests, it's like no. And I can tell you each and every person who tried to kill me, who's threatened me. But at the end of the day, they're still walking around. People who've stolen from us, who they're like, if we cripple them, push them hard enough, they will go back. So when you have this people following you, we want to be able to just go to town, have a peaceful, I guess, Even go somewhere and just sit and have a drink without worrying whether somebody's going to try and poison you. That is bottom line. Because I think whoever is behind it would like to see us all gone. And it goes into, like my sister said, the judiciary. There is also lawyers, rogue lawyers. There's a lot of them who, when somebody is asking you for millions of shillings, I mean, where are we supposed to get that? Or why are we being asked for that? That tells me it is organized. It was a very organized thing. And this is where, you know, we are asking for that help. If there's somebody out here who's listening, if you know anything, do not be afraid to speak out. We are speaking out because we know that this goes way higher than where we thought. So just help us out. You know, like my sister said, we have our mom who's 8 years old. We are here to assist her. It's like the Bible clearly says, honor your father and mother, take care of your parents. That's what we're doing. And it's something that they worked hard for and not something that they stole or took from somebody. They are hard-working people, and so are we. We've worked hard. We've left our lives in America to come and make sure that my mom, my brother, our family is comfortable. Where we are not, we just don't want to be harassed anymore at the end of the day. Those who stole our cows, bring them back. Bring them back. The one who stole our tractor, bring it back. All of you out there who've taken something from this home, bring it back. We just want things the way they were. Because when somebody works hard, you just don't have a right to just go take it. So bring it back. And for all those who harassed me and ridiculed me, as like Chiro, who ridiculed my mom, put her on the spot so they can embarrass her and humiliate her. We want justice for that. We want justice for all those lies that people peddled, you know, like we did whatever we did. We didn't. This is about land grabbing. It's about being injustice to women, widows, because when we went to DCI and it's like, oh, where's your brother? Let your brother come and speak. My brother was not even there. He was taking care of my mom. But the thing is, why is it that a man has to speak? I have a voice. So I'm imploring this country, the government, Mr. President, help us out. We have a voice. We were born to. The Bible doesn't say that a man is superior to a woman or a woman is superior to a man. We are all equal. We are all human beings. We bleed red. Unless you bleed another color, then that is fine. But we bleed the same. We feel the same. We have feelings as well. So we would like our lives back.
So you have evidences of...
I do. I have court orders that right now there's people out there. You know, the last one that came out is this one that involves the Catholic Church, Celine George, Ambrose Bitok, Fiona Cherono. These are people who came claiming something, and they have been told, stay away. And this order came out June of 2023. This one was about somebody called Kenneth Kiprop. He was told never to come here, and these are all his accomplices. So these are people who were told never to show up, but they still show. There's another one here. This one had been barred in 2011. He's called Joel Samoe. He's still barred, but he's still here. They're the ones who threatened my sister and threw rocks at her and tried to steal her stuff. And these are the same people who'd poison our pond over there and kill our cows. The minute we tell them move back, so we lost 4 cows because they went and poisoned the water in the dam. So our cows don't go in the dam anymore. We've got P3s, pictures of goats, cows, agriculture reports. We lost 40 acres last year of maize because of... We have evidence, we have pictures where the cows were left to just kind of eat the wheat, eat the corn, just like that. And then you ask the the law enforcement, and it's like, oh, tunakuja. This is a recent one. This one was for wheat, the agriculture report. And it got to a point where you would call the agriculture people and the cops are telling them, come back another time. There are many, there are like 4, and it didn't matter who you tell. There's pictures, there's evidence. We lost 2 acres of potatoes because goats were in there, and we know them, they are over here. And these are all people who are known to us. So when the police tells you, do you know them? Yes, we do. But then they'll tell us, go find them, and then we'll come and arrest them. Who does that?
They don't want you to grow anything.
No. Even our vegetables, where we had vegetables here, they're just for home. We found cows over there. And then they have the audacity to tell us, you're stabbing our cows. Why are the cows inside the compound? This is a file we opened for the OBs. There are many. There are like many. There are many. And we've written everything. There are many. I mean, there are like almost 50. We have malicious intent, aggravated assault, destroying property. These are all OBs that we've written,
Any arrests?
Not that I know of, no. Because I know the person who stole the last one here, who stole the engine that is worth $500,000, still goes about his business. Nothing has happened. The guy who tried to kill me, the first thing I was told is, where's the P3? I don't even know what that is, There's illegal grazing. My sister was attacked by people who came and destroyed the wheat. So the question is, where does it end? When does it end? When are these going to get addressed? They'll tell you the file is there. We've gone. The one thing that caught our attention also is there's an incident that happened in March 18th. That was on my sister's birthday. And they came with bows and arrows, tried to attack us. They said we were all going to die. But when you go to the statements that we wrote, they were all altered. It's like I am, I think, a 50-year-old woman, and then the next thing is all scribbles. There's nothing. So it's like we never reported. Or when you report, they have specific officers who will take the report, and then when you tell them there was a encroachment, they'll tell you no, they were trespassing. So you say what you're saying, they'll tell you no. Like Chiro, when I said this guy came and he threw me on the electric and said, no, you argued. I was like, we didn't argue. If you look at my size, I am 5'1", I am 48 kilos, it's 104 pounds. How do I stand up to a man who is 6 foot and argue about what? I'm on my land, there was nothing to argue about. But for somebody to insist and tell you that you argue, I didn't argue with nobody. I just told him, I have this court order. I removed the court order and I told him, I have a court order, you need to leave. It's been given, and there's another one here that says status quo, you need to leave. And all the man told me was, you argued. I didn't argue. This is where you wonder, how do you interpret the law? And for somebody to tell you, like for the commander, Ayub, told me that the order was vague. There was even a warrant of arrest, and he says the order was vague. And I asked him, when it says here that this is a valid court order and whoever disobeys it is liable to be imprisoned for up to 6 months. If that is being written on a court order given by the courts, how is it vague? How is it vague? And later on, I was told that it was his truck that tried to kill me. So that it was his payment. It had over 400 bags of maize and some millet, and they just took it out like nothing happened. And when we went to get the warrant now, because they had violated a court order, it's like everything just went quiet. And another thing that I know that it went into the judicial is because there's a time I had a court date. I went there and I was told it was yesterday. So it's like our file was put for the day before and a warrant was issued for me. And I can tell you, I saw Chiro right there. I was with my sister and I told her, that is Chiro. A warrant had been issued for my arrest. Because they said I missed a court date, which I didn't. I had it all. I had a paper that had been stamped the court date. So this is how we know it goes deep, where they wanted to get rid of me or get rid of us here. So if it wasn't for our lawyer to go and we talked to the magistrate and she told me just write a letter saying where you are. And I was like, I was actually here. I was on time. That is how we know that's how deep it goes. So we know that whoever is out there, you know, had a motive. There are very many. We've written all of them, and a couple of these are repeat offenders, and that's why we know that this is organized thing where the communities have been riled up to come and frustrate us. Like the group here in Sokomogo, there is a boy that we actually arrested with maize about. It was about, 50 kilos, and we were told that is evidence. When you go back to the police station to ask what happened to those people, they were fast offenders, so they were given misdemeanor, but then the evidence always disappears. And I remember there was a time the chief told me, when you're coming, not the chief, the OCS, when you're coming, bring me charcoal. And that's how we realized that apparently mode of payment was charcoal, I think, as one of the things. But this is to the locals. But the locals are riled up, you know, so that they can just come and frustrate, you know. And I have confronted very many, many times, and they've actually told me, we will die today. And I was like, okay.
Thank you so much. I'm Kimtai Kirui. Today we're here in this family homestead, and it's unfortunate that police sole mandate or responsibility is to protect life and property. But it's really weird when you find an entire family living in fear. People are grazing on their land, not even land, not even grass, but wheat, maize, vegetables, potatoes. Police receive reports. Agriculture have made reports. Statements are written, but there's no time somebody has been taken to court. Hakuna mtu anapelekwa mahakama, anastakiwa. La pili ni kwamba watu wanakuja na mshale, arrows, bows and arrows to an homestead kama hii. An alarm is raised. Police don't respond. This is how low we've sunk as a country or as a society. The law enforcers. Moiben, Bitinel Loret. Nowadays, they associate so closely with criminals because that is where the paycheck is. You know, this is an issue of another window. And we another deal that is really chilling. You find a chief is part of the cartel tilling the land, 30 acres. We have another chief, the name of a chief, I think they said, ni mmoja wenye analima shamba, chief mwingine upande huu analima shamba. People are told, you are women, you are not supposed to talk. Who said that women are not supposed to talk? We are in a country governed by the rule of law. We are equal before the law. This is a country, I don't know, if any person who's been in the US is not supposed to come back to this country. These are the issues. The DCC, Moiben should tell us. Why are chiefs frustrating widows in this country, especially this county? We need a law to protect our widows. But before we get there, police, do your work professionally. Protect life and property of citizens. We know this much around this issue of this land. There are big people behind this land who want to grab the land. Talk to the family. If you want to buy the land, talk to the family well. If they're willing to sell, it's okay. But don't use locals. Don't incite locals to make life unbearable to these people. We are appealing to the county commissioner. We know you have a problem. You have your own problems. But can we have a barasa here? We are appealing. We must have a barasa in this homestead. Chiefs from Marakwet, chiefs from Wasingishu. And these things should be addressed. We know courts in Eldoret. We know rock lawyers in Eldoret are out to frustrate widows because that is where they get money. Land cases are never settled because that is where people get money. So, county commissioner, the DCC, DO, I hear is amongst the people who are giving these people the right to graze, the right to feed cows, the cows to graze here. That's from the witnesses and testimonies that we've had from the concerned parties. County commissioner, I'm still appealing to you. We must and you must have a barasa. It's not a two-way. We cannot have Kenyans living in fear in their own land. And then, Osias Moiben, you know, how can somebody be a threat to peace in his own home? Since when? I'm in my own home. How can I create disturbance in my own home? And then you let scot-free the people who are invading my house. I think there's a problem. There's a problem in Eldoret police officers. And this began in the last regime. We know Mr. Mwade is a good county commander. He can listen, and he'll listen, and he'll act. Clean Eldoret, part of Eldoret, and Moiben police. Moiben police is a problem. There have been so many cries in Moiben about Moiben police officers. Can you clean? We know IG Kome is also trying to professionalize the police. DCI are also trying to professionalize the DCI officers. But they are all officers who've overstayed here. Let them go. Let's have new blood. Let's have fresh blood. If the police fails in this country, the economy of the country will fail. That's why this family can no longer feed. This family can no longer feel safe. Because without security, you'll not do anything. Now, why should you give upper hand criminals? And the people who are supposed to be protected are the ones being taken to the cell. It's because of corruption. Rampant corruption within the police. Impunity. So we know there's a bigger hand who wants the land. But I'm seeing these are determined women. The widow in the house, she's sick as a result of stress. She's supposed to be enjoying her property. Now she's dragging the daughters in now to fight on her behalf. They're supposed to be enjoying their lives in US, doing their own things. But they were forced to come back here to cut short their stay in US because they must protect and stand with their mother. It's so unfortunate. It's unfortunate so much in such a country that that we believe in rule of law. We believe in the right to protect property and lives in a country where we are progressing on well, but we are having police officers and members of the national government abetting crime. They are accomplices actually. So, County Commissioner, I still appeal to you. This thing we should not be appealing to the president. The president has akona shida mingi kwa manage Kenya. We cannot drag the president over these small petty things that can be handled by a DO. Kama chief yako analima shamba hapa, chiefs analima shamba. You know, they are not supposed to be in office. So we are appealing you, the county commissioner, tafuta siku uweke baraza hapa, ndio mambo yatalainika. Thank you so much.